What's up, guys? Awesome Boston here. Welcome back to another video. Today we are back here yet again for another GeoGuessr related video, and an absolutely insane update has just dropped to GeoGuessr. So a few days ago we did get Costa Rica added to the game. So previously we only had a little bit of coverage in Costa Rica. It was Gen 3 Trekker around some famous landmarks and like famous airports and stuff like that. But now we have full dense Gen 4 street coverage in Costa Rica. So this is super cool. So here's the old coverage right here, I believe, on the sidewalk. No, this is actually new right here. Okay, and right here is the old coverage. For example, 2016, so almost 10 years ago, we had this Gen 3 Trekker in Costa Rica. It was super recognizable, and this is what we had for Costa Rica for a really long time. But now, if I move over here, we do have Gen 4, and it's absolutely insane. This was taken throughout 2024 and 2025 in a lot of places in the country. So pretty much here is the full extent of the coverage. As you can see, very dense around San Jose, of course, and also dense around the country in other regions. And we do have a bunch of rural roads and towns covered. So very cool. So as I said before, this is used a Gen 4 Trekker mounted on a white pickup truck, similar to what we've seen in many countries around the world that we've been getting in recent years, like Namibia, Oman, etc. So here, if I open up Google Maps, something very exciting about this update is not only do we have Costa Rica, we do have a very special edition called Explore Costa Rica with GeoRainbow. So if I hover over like Panama, for example, it'll just be the regular yellow pegman. It'll say Explore Costa Rica with GeoRainbow. I think it still says that, I don't know. But anyways, the pegman is yellow if you hover over a normal country. But if you hover over Costa Rica, it does change to rainbow. So as you can see, it's a little rainbow t-shirt guy as the pegman. And then you can just drop down anywhere in the country as normally, and it will appear a normal panorama. So very cool that we can now explore Costa Rica with GeoRainbow. So next up here's an example of a location here, an urban location. This is in like the capital region, I believe. So very nice. It does look like Panama or some other countries in the region. It does use a similar blur and car, so we're gonna have to get used to that, but very cool. And now here are all of the exciting locations. So this location, Rainbow, is actually in the car. You obviously can't see it, but it's just like cool to know. Rainbow is in the passenger seat of this pickup truck here. It was in a video on YouTube, so that was uploaded a few days ago with Rainbow exploring Costa Rica. Next up here, we have himself. So this is his second appearance on Street View after what happened in Germany a couple of summers ago when that initially got released. Rainbow and Kodiak were on Google Street View. But yeah, there's a lot of frames with him in it here on this river. This is like in the central of the country by like that big lake. This was taken in April 2025, so very cool. You have him there. And then this location, I believe, same thing. You could still see him like getting out of the water. And then we have the whole crew. So he went with a whole crew around the country. You could see the second Google Maps car back there. This gray car has a regular camera on top to film like videos and photos. And then you have like a van here that traveled with them. So yeah, entire crew here. And then this is the street view car that they used to take images on. Over here we have him as a trekker. This is absolutely insane. You can see this is his hair, obviously pretty distinct, and then we have the production girl or whatever following him throughout the trail. And this is in a waterfall. It's called La Fortuna. Yeah, La Fortuna waterfall in Costa Rica here. You could see the camera crew up there at the top of the stairwell, and then, you know, he's actually a trekker. Like, I never thought that I would see this day, but Rainbow is officially now a trekker for Google Street View. Next up here, why do my tabs keep like refreshing? I don't know why. I thought I just refreshed them. But anyways, here's another example. Same person, and then you could see him as a trekker with the hair, and then you could see the camera crew here. This is the videographer. This footage is uploaded to YouTube, so very cool. And then you got, you know, the whole crew over here. Absolutely insane. Next example here, another one. You can see his hand and his hair there. That's the production girl, and then, you know, you can see the videographers up there. They're capturing all the angles. This is absolutely insane to see like the footage from two different perspectives. Next up here, just a couple of more examples. You can see a really up close example of the videographer along with the entire crew here in Costa Rica in the waterfall. Super, super cool. And then last up, this is one in a parking lot, I believe. Yep. You could see the same person in the back and then the Google Street View car. Oops. Let me just refresh and I'll be right back. Alright, so we're back here. As I was saying, you can see the reflection of the Street View car here, Gen 4 Trekker. You could see that video camera that they're trying to take off the truck. So this followed them throughout the country to capture like videos and stuff of the Street View car driving. It was super, super cool. Again, you could see that on YouTube. It's on Rainbow's channel. And then, just another example of the Street View car there. So as I was saying, another example of the Street View car reflection there. So this is very, very cool that we have Rainbow officially engraved into Street View in Costa Rica. And now we also have that location in Germany, so very, really cool. We're having him across the world. But that's an absolutely insane addition. When I first saw this update, I thought it was just Costa Rica, so I was like super excited. But then when we saw the Rainbow Edition, it was just that much more exciting. But anyways, I'm going to hop over to a map on GeoGuessr and start playing and test out how well I do at Costa Rica. Alright, so I'm now on GeoGuessr here. I found a map called AI Gen Costa Rica. Hopefully it does work out well. It should be because it's 100,000 locations. Hopefully we don't just get the tracker like we did in Nepal. And we're not. Perfect. So we are getting our first glimpses at Costa Rica. I really haven't checked out much coverage or played, of course. So we're going to see how this looks. Obviously, it does use similar signs to like Panama, Mexico. We have Alto instead of Pare. Very, very cool there. This is very mountainous. I'm not too sure where this is in the country, but I guess we're just going to have to play and learn. I'll just guess there. Oh, wow, that was a lot south. Costa Rica is not that big of a country, though, 143 kilometers. On a world map, this would be pretty good. But yeah, we have a town called Buenos Aires, like Argentina. Very, very cool there. That was pretty south, I guess. There's a lot of mountains around here. Not much population. Alright, next location here. We're on a highway. I wonder what highway this is. It actually says it. That's very cool. We have like a mile marker there, whatever. 32, and we're on kilometer 132. We're going east. I could low-key probably pinpoint this. I can. 32. Is this divided here? No, it's a single carriageway. Okay. Maybe here. Okay, we could definitely be here. It's a straight section, and then is it 32 west of San Jose, or does it end here? No, I think it ends there. Low key, it's probably just a stretch of road. I'm just gonna go for it. Okay, it was a lot more east, but still, we'll take that. Very cool. It was the 32 highway, so that's not bad. 66 kilometers, definitely getting on closer. But still, not a bad guess at all. Next up, we have a rural location here. We are in probably like the northern part here, maybe north of the capital. We have some Brazilian soil here. It's very nice. We have some advertisements. Yeah, I'm not sure how these guesses are going to play out with NPZ. Like this right here, I could easily see myself going like Brazil. I mean, the pole obviously isn't Brazilian, so never mind the pole, but still, it kind of just looks like Brazil. But anyways, I'm going to guess north of the capital there, and it was north of the capital, a lot more west than I thought. It was by like Liberia. I believe this is like a famous like tourist destination over here. This airport? I think so. Anyways, yeah, very cool location there. Alright, next up, round 4, we're back in the mountains here. This is a very, very beautiful country here. Glad to have it on Street View. National Monument. Guayampo? Is that a town? 24 kilometers. Could very well be a town. Not too sure. Mountains, should I go south? I'll just go south. Okay, and it was east of the capital. I guess we have just mountains all throughout. Very nice, we're gonna have to learn that. And then, wow, we're on a dirt road here up in the mountains. Glad to see that they ventured off into a lot of different areas. Let's go south again, hopefully. Okay, no. Yeah, the whole country is mountainous. Definitely gonna have to do a lot of learning, a lot more practicing. But 2.9k. That's pretty bad. I mean, it's a one country map, but still, that's pretty bad, like I said. But we're going to play another round to see how it goes, and then I'll leave it at that for this video. Alright, so we do have a dirt road here. Very, very nice. We have some plants and stuff like that. Let's see what we're working with. Yeah, a lot of rural stuff around here. Very small town. License plates are short white plates with like a blue tint. Yeah, definitely gonna have to do a lot of learning for Costa Rica. I know I've said that a lot, but we've been getting so many countries this year, like back to back. Like in the past 2 months, we got Namibia, Nepal, Costa Rica, obviously. What else have we gotten? Oman was the end of 2024, I think. But within the past like 365 days, we've been getting a lot of countries. Those four I could remember off the top of my head. Obviously, Kazakhstan was, March of 2024. It's quite a while ago. But yeah, I feel like it's been a lot of countries releases back to back, especially in the past few months. But I wonder what we're gonna get next. Costa Rica has been talked about for like over a year, so that was exciting. We're getting Gen 4 updates too, to like Dominican Republic, Uruguay, Bosnia. Bosnia needs to be added. We've been getting talks about Bosnia forever, and that's gonna be with a regular car, so that's very exciting, like a regular Gen 4 car, just like the rest of continental Europe. So yeah. But anyways, I'm not gonna go on a tangent there. Let's go back to the game here. We're in the mountains again. This kind of looks like Puerto Rico mountains, low key. Um, but yeah, definitely gonna be a lot of 50-50s here for guesses coming up with the Latin region. Alright, we were very close there, which is the capital region. This is like more flat, I think. Loki should go like east, maybe. Okay, I mean, not too bad. 86 kilometers. Again, it's not a big country in general. We got a lot of palm trees here. Could we be by the coast? Maybe. Maybe not. Okay, we actually were. And not even gonna lie, I was gonna go more south, but I decided not to. But still, very, very good guess there. Excellent. And let's see how we're gonna end it off here. Bunch of red soil here. I'll just guess like a bit north there. Okay, not too bad. I'm getting better. I'll get the hang of it eventually, I'm sure. There's a lot of information that I just haven't uncovered yet. But with all that being said, I'm going to leave it at that. I really hope you guys did enjoy this video. If you did, do not forget to smash that like button and subscribe. As always, stay safe. And guys, it's been the Officer Boston, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.